Psychoanalytic theory gives us a notion of personality structure. Some people's personalities have a very limited capacity for self-reflection, for understanding, for contact with emotions and with others, or even with themselves. How do you think God looks at people whose personality gets largely in the way of proper Christian living and relating with God and with other people?
So my response is to be from God's eye view. And I'm thinking what comes to mind immediately is the parable or the story that Jesus gave of the widow who gave her mite. And I think God's view is some have a whole bank of money to offer, and others have just one crown. and and I think he values each person at their own level, being able to grow, even if it's an inch or a foot. And I think he grieves over those who are more limited. When I sit with a person and I trust that I'm speaking with God's burden of heart, when I sit with a person, I try not to think in terms of their limitations, but I think in terms of God's vision for them, however little, however great. And I believe that even if a person, in terms of their psychic structure, is more limited, that working psychoanalytically, relationally, with love, those limits can be stretched, whether ever so slightly or greatly. And that isn't that God's heart? That is his heart for all of us.
Well, I think in the book of Revelation, when the last tear is dried, it'll be Jesus' tear. And I think he continues to weep with us and to suffer with us. I think that his resurrection and ascension to the right hand of the Father does not remove him from what we are experiencing here. And so I believe that all of his children are special to him. And people who have had the misfortune of having just a terrible start in life, I think are particularly close to his heart. At the same time, I believe that when Jesus was here with us, he wept over Jerusalem, and he said how often I wanted you to come to me, I wanted to draw you to me, and you would not. So I do think that Jesus holds us all responsible for growing, for maturing, for seeking out Christian mentors. And so I believe at whatever level a person is, they can do that. I do want to add something that is of great concern to me. Your question about people that are limited. Unfortunately, some of them are Christian leaders. And so I believe this is the kind of person that Jesus railed about when he was here with us. His rage in the Gospels is pretty much limited for this group of people. And he was irate with the heavy burdens that this type of leader would put on people that would just wear them out and wear them down. And so I think that with this kind of person who unfortunately somehow comes into a leading role in the Christian community, I don't think the Lord feels very sympathetic or compassionate toward them. And I think at the same time, we that are here with these people who are leaders have a responsibility to try to protect Christians who are in that realm of that leader's influence. And in fact, a lot of the work that I do in my office is with these very people who actually have been hurt, not in the world, but in the church.